Garrett Blevins here again with another video log. This is going to have the last day of week 5 and the first day of week 6. The biggest change in my programming that's going to come through in these videos is I'm going to be switching from doing either 5 sets of 5, 6 sets of 3, or 6 sets of 2 to 2 sets of 5 or 3 sets of 3 or 3 sets of 2. This is the change in the RTS volume protocol to intensity protocol. And I've been feeling pretty beat up lately. My hips have been tired, and my body is just sore. I've never done the kind of volume I've been doing. And I feel like since it's week 6 of 10, it's about time to switch over from volume to intensity, as well as I just need to rest a little bit. So on the last day, this is the assistance day of week 5, I decided to rep out with 405 after doing the pause squats with it. And I think the rep work is really important. That's going to come through a little bit more on the actual rep day with the low bar stance of the cube that's going to come up next week. But the rep work is really helping me find my sticking points, my weak spots, and then rep through them over and over again. For me, that's about actually about 2/3 of the way up in the squat. I'm strong out from the hole, but when it gets up right where my back angle starts to straighten again, I think I need to activate the glutes more and squeeze through. On a similar note, I've also been working with a slightly narrower stance sumo deadlift, and that allows for a lot more leg drive. I tried it today, and every time, and I tried it last week as well, every time I've tried it, my rep work with the deadlift has felt a lot easier in that narrow stance than the wide stance, and I'll switch in between them. And it really feels like I'm a good 5 to 10% stronger with that narrow stance. I don't know if that's going to hold true for higher weight or not, and I'm going to have to wait to find out for sure. I finished out also with a rep set there off the dead stop 16-inch or 16 pin there, and this said 10. That was a nice PR as well. So 2 rep PRs. Now here's my work set for this the second cycle of the cube with squats. It was 1 set of 6. The depth looks a little funny from this angle, but that's because I had a guy in there with me, Robert Smith, who was recording, and he held the camera high, so that's why it looks the way it does. But you can see that sticking point there is it's high in the squat for me for whatever reason. I'm going to have to see if I can research why, but I think it has to do with some of my hip and glute activation in the squat as I come forward and squeeze out. Might also have to do with my knees. I think they start to come in right off the bottom, and that might put me in a slightly weaker position at the top. I'll just have to work on it. But those reps felt very slow, but ended up going very fast. And sometimes that's really what I learned today, is that it's good to record, it's good to look over the movements, because sometimes when the weight feels heavier or it seems heavy to you because of your mindset for that day, the weights are going to move fast but feel slow, and you can psych yourself out. I think the squat especially, it's very important to have a positive mindset when you get into the bar, that no matter what it feels like on your back, you trust your programming, you trust your body that it's going to be able to respond and lift those weights. So pretty excited. This was only my second set of 5 with my assistants work the high bar squats today. I didn't do any bench. I'm going to do that tomorrow. I have some more time, so I'm splitting up my workouts a little bit more than I normally would. But 2 sets of 5 was a piece of cake. So I'm very excited for volume to end because it's hard and I'm tired, and for intensity to begin and really start looking at some of the strength that I've gained in this process. I'm looking forward to testing in 4 weeks. That should be really interesting. We'll see what kind of total I can push out. But it reminded me that it's important for us to pay attention to what time it is. And in the Christian life, it's important to realize that now is the time to walk as children of light. Now is the time to find what the will of God is and do it. Now is the time to move forward. And it's important to pay attention to what season it is. And the season that Christians live in today is the season of the Spirit that empowers us to live the Christian life, a time of a renewed mind that allows us to discern God's will. So we should make use of those just as we make use of volume protocols and intensity protocols. Make use of the holiness protocol. Blessings.